your life.
Welcome to episode 8 of season 2 of Fitness Focus with Chau, Hybrid Caribbean's podcast, where we interview any and everybody from within the fitness industry or the fitness world, from managers to trainers to our very own Zumba queen, Bella Sookdeo. Welcome, Bella.
Hi. Thank you for having me. How you guys doing?
We're fine.
Great.
So, I'll say this. This is very interesting for me because I have very, very limited experience with Zumba. I've done weightlifting. I've tried my hand at Olympic weightlifting, but just, in the gym kind of thing. I have done different agility training. I'm a martial artist and thing. But I think I've only ever done Zumba like once in my life at a big Zumba event. So this is actually going to be quite an interesting interview for me.
Great. Let's try to fix that. When we're done today, hopefully I get you to say yes to come to some of my classes and you do it. So fingers crossed.
As a fitness enthusiast, I'm always willing to try, right?
That's all you need. You just need the willingness to try.
So what I would like to do is let's start from the beginning. What started you on your fitness journey? For some, they play the sport in school or whatever. Where did you start?
That's a funny question. So I've been a dancer. Most people that know me know that I do lots in dancing, and I've always had a passion for dancing. I never had a passion for fitness. That was not something I wanted to do. I didn't like to go to the gym. However, there was a dance studio that I was at in Vancouver, and they used to teach Zumba fitness there. And I thought, you know what? If it is, I don't like to go to the gym, maybe I should just do this. I like to dance anyway. Let me just do it. And I ended up doing it, and then I became an instructor eventually, and then everything just started to happen from there. So that's how that happened. Now, funny fact, I was actually not the fittest person in high school. I don't know if my high school friends say this or not, but I was actually like the chubby girl in class. I was the one that got picked last for PE. Like, I was not active. That's not me in high school.
Look at you now.
Yeah, I know.
How did you get into dance though itself? Was it just, hey, I like how that looks, I'm gonna try it?
One movie, Dance With Me with Vanessa Williams. That was it. I saw that movie. I was maybe 13 or 14 years at the time. And I said, you know what, I want to do that one day. And when I finished CXC, there was this dance studio that had a teens class. And I joined there, and then everything was history from that point forward as well. But Dance With Me was it. I saw the movie, and that was it. I said, yes, this is me.
What?
And then
I'm pretty sure that Vanessa Williams has influenced a lot of people in
doing that. Yeah. She was so phenomenal in that movie.
So we're going to get into a whole lot of stuff in this interview, right? I believe we have a video collage of you doing a whole bunch of stuff. So while our tech searches for that, let's continue our chat.
Cool.
So to me, you can look at it in terms of dance fitness.
Yeah.
And in terms of Zumba. Question, do you see a difference between dance fitness and Zumba?
Yes and no. Zumba is a style of dance fitness, right? Because you're dancing while you're doing a class, right?
Right.
But typically, Zumba is a global brand. It's internationally recognized, and they actually have this down to science, right? Like to be a Zumba instructor, you go through a licensing program, but you also get tools, and they're constantly teaching you how to be better at teaching people, and this to me is the first, I guess, international brand that I've seen put so much time and energy into training the trainer.
Right.
So I would say dance fitness is the same across the board, but Zumba fitness, there is a formula to it. There is a science behind it. There is structure behind it that you wouldn't experience in other dance fitness classes.
Yeah, I know that there are other big international brands like CrossFit and stuff, but from what I gather, they don't put nearly as much effort as you're describing into training their trainers.
No, like
So
some programs you go and you learn this, go forth and teach it, and then you kind of make up things, or you develop your own thing as you go, right? But Zumba actually monthly gives trainers tools to teach in their classes. They do their own music. They teach you course steps. They give you a formula to follow in terms of how to teach a class without making it too confusing, or how to teach people that are now starting versus how to teach people that may have some experience doing it. You know, they're very invested in their product and their program.
Well, before I continue though, I'd like to say shout out Leon Brewster. Yo, what's up, guys? He says.
That's my bestie.
That's your bestie. Hello, bestie. How you doing?
He's my Zumba bestie, dance bestie, he's my life bestie.
Aww,
Yeah.
BFF.
He's my BFF.
Yeah. So what I've seen is a whole bunch of stuff has been influenced by Zumba. We have a whole local thing called Zumba Fit. Soca Fit.
Soca Fit, yeah.
How do you feel about all of these children of Zumba, I should say?
Well, I wouldn't say they are children of Zumba, but there are a lot of programs that try to adopt a similar formula to what Zumba did, because it's so successful. Like, Zumba is in over 180 countries worldwide. They have over 500,000 instructors worldwide. And the statistic that they like to say is, like, weekly there are like 15 million people taking Zumba fitness classes around the world, from the statistics that they've done. And they've done it so well. So there are a lot of programs that try to adopt the same model that Zumba does. But like I said, they have it down to science. So some programs do well, some programs are not picking up, but they have to learn, develop their own formula or their science to what they're doing as well. But Zumba definitely, like, they mastered it. It took some time, but they mastered a science there that even sometimes I can't explain it. It just works. I can't tell you. There are times that I do things in classes with clients, and prior to walking into class, I'm saying, this is weird. I don't think they're going to like it. And I don't know, but it's kind of catchy. Let me do this. And I'll go in class and I'll do it, and everybody loves it. And I'm here thinking that it's weird, and they'll feel uncomfortable and they love it. And I don't understand it, but Zumba knows what they're doing, and sometimes I just have to trust the process, and I do it anyway.
So the thing is, that there are lots of gym diehards who may have certain things to say about Zumba.
Yes.
But since Zumba started in one vein, and it has grown since, so that there are different branches. I don't know, branches, is that the right word?
Yeah. You mean like the different styles of Zumba?
Yes.
I guess, yeah, you could call it like branches to main Zumba. So Zumba is dance fitness in itself. There's Aqua Zumba, there's Zumba toning. There is the next program that I launched as well in Trinidad, which is called Strong by Zumba. It's now called Strong Nation, and that is a hit kickboxing style, very creative program that they designed as well, again using the same formula and science that they use for Zumba, and that actually pre-pandemic started to become more popular than my actual Zumba classes. Yeah.
So basically,
pre-pandemic.
Zumba is more than just dancing. You can do muscular development style exercises. You can do martial arts based exercises and a whole bunch of stuff. So that Zumba, although it may have started in dance, it has grown to be a more
diverse.
Diverse. That's the word. Approach to fitness.
Yeah, they do. They have different programs specifically for different, I guess, groups of people that prefer different styles of training. But Strong Nation, I think, is an exceptionally well put together program. It's a total body workout. Like if you do a strong class, you would work your body from top to bottom. There's an ab session at the end of it. It's very different from what people traditionally know Zumba fitness for. Like even now when I'm teaching that in gyms, people still come to me and say, but it's not a Zumba class. It is a Zumba product, but it's not a typical Zumba class. It's a boot camp mixed with HIIT, mixed with kickboxing,
Right.
just kind of, it's serious business though.
It's
You
an
should try
everything.
that one. Yes. Okay, it's set. We're gonna do Strong Nation one day. You're gonna do one.
Look how I just got volunteered now.
That's going to happen. That's non-negotiable.
That's non-negotiable.
No, that's going to happen.
You know what, folks? I'm always up for a challenge, and because I'm a fitness freak, I'm always up to any approach to fitness. So I'll try.
No, it's going to happen. This
I'll
is
try,
not.
I'll
This is
try.
yeah. This is. I'm just gonna give you a date and time, and you're gonna show up. It's going to happen.
You know what? I could probably work with that. You tell me where I'm.
Yes, you have to promise everybody now that you're gonna take a couple of clips and put it up just for proof that.
Of course.
Okay,
What's the
good.
point of me doing it if I don't take clips?
You're gonna go there and record it.
Right. So
Right.
folks, in case you all didn't hear, our tech Anderson said he is going to personally record me doing Strong Nation with Bella.
I actually think you would really enjoy it. From your background, you would really enjoy that program.
Yeah, man. I have no problem with
Trust
that.
me.
I'll try it.
Trust me on that. I'm a professional.
Love it, love it, love it. So not only are you a Zumba instructor in the class setting, but you also do all these major events. We saw a little the video collage of you in front of this massive
Crowd.
crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question: how do you prepare yourself mentally and in terms of class structure for an event versus your regular classes?
I like that question. So I have a process for both, right? My classes is an intimate setting, and it's about me really just getting to know people in my class, what kind of movement they like, what kind of music they like, and really kind of meeting them halfway so that they get an experience out of being in a class setting with me. So
Right.
it's not just I'm here and I'm saying, you know what, I have 10 songs that I choreograph, and y'all just do it. Like I pay attention to what they respond to, what makes them smile, what makes them step out of their comfort zone, and those are things that I now like use, and I challenge them to step out of themselves, so that when they leave class, they're not just getting a sweat and they get to dance, they're leaving, you know, feeling fulfilled within themselves because they would have crossed a barrier or boundary within themselves that they didn't think that they could do, right? And one of my favorite things about teaching classes is I love to see when people come into my class and they say, you know, I can't dance, I have 2 left feet, I've never done this before, and then they become hooked on it and they're in every class, and before you know it, they're doing anything I throw at them, and they in themselves can't believe within themselves that they could have done that.
Right.
You know, now when it comes to big events, that's not an intimate setting, so I really now have to sit and think about what is trending, what will people respond to, where their mental state be at walking into that event. Like for example, if it's carnival time, they're looking to have hyped soca, you know, they're
Right.
looking to feel energized from what's happening in and around the season, right? If it was summer, that would be different. Like that would be, let's say for example, right now during the summertime, you may have Afrobeats trending more than soca. You may have, you know, dancehall or Trinidad that trending more than soca music. So I really like sit and think about what is happening in the season
Right.
that I'm in for whatever event I'm being featured at, and I try to think about what I want the crowd to feel while I am on stage, right? Well, actually, I do 2 things. I try to think about what their experience is going to be like, from the sound of the music to how things transition to even the moves doing that kind of the music mixes, so you have to kind of like sync the moves into each other, right? So I will think about what I want them to feel, and I also think about what I want the event promoters to capture on camera. So I'd now slip in things that will make it more camera friendly, or something that would make the crowd move more, will make the crowd look a certain way, so that the cameras now has good content as well. So I actually have this whole process. If you guys see me at an event and I'm kind of freaking out before I go on stage, it's not because I'm nervous, it's because I'm thinking about so many different moving parts to make sure that I capture and I give my employers as well as my audience something of value. So I
Right.
have this whole big process behind it. It's yeah. It's
So
not
there are a
it's
couple
not simple.
things there. I love how you said that I am being featured at.
Yeah.
You know, I love how you said that. Not that I am attending or I'm working at, but I am being featured at. I love it. It sounds better. But aside from that, when you talk about, you know, what you want to show to the camera to look good and what you
Yeah.
want to. I have a friend who does Zumba also. We spoke about her, Nazi, and like
Nazi.
every little clip of Zumba that she puts up of her doing it, she must include a wine. Are you like that? Do you have to?
Wine?
Yeah, wine every.
Actually, no. So, especially when you're teaching. All right, so let me put it to you this way. If I'm doing a soca event or if I'm doing a carnival event, naturally you have to include those things because
Right.
that's just where people are at. They're in that space where they want to whine, they want to bubble, they want to jiggle a little, you know. So you put it in there. But if I'm teaching a corporate class, these are women who typically are not in the fet setting or into those things, and they're very shy. I would not put shaking my booty in a class with that audience, right?
Right.
So it's not a must for me. I can do an entire class without whining once,
Fair
and you'll
enough, fair
still
enough.
have a good time.
Fair enough. I wanna take a short break there.
Huh? Break.
Play a little, well, I guess it's our version of an ad. We're gonna feature our own magazine here. Have a little short discussion about it after. So,
Sure.
can we have the We Are video, please?
Have I ever been a victim of body shaming? I would say recently, as I've gotten into fitness, especially in the Caribbean.
Have I been a victim of body shaming? Yes, I have.
Have I ever been a victim of body shaming? Definitely yes.
I have been a victim of body shaming.
I have been a victim of body shaming, especially when I was pregnant.
Do pregnant women face body shaming or other types of ignorance?
Yes, I have been a victim of body shaming.
I have been a victim of body shaming.
Yeah, I've been a victim of body shaming quite often.
Interesting thing about body shaming is it doesn't take any one form.
I have been a victim of body shaming throughout my life, really.
Have I ever been a victim of body shaming? Yes.
Welcome back, and we're here again with Bella. Before we continue and we talk about the ad that we just played, we do have one question. What exactly is HIT?
Well, hit Zumba is not really a thing, to be honest. There's a hit class that Zumba designed, and then there's Zumba Fitness, which is the dance style of Zumba. So hit Zumba is really just a hit program that Zumba designed that is a traditional hit style workout. That the only difference between what Zumba does and what everybody else does is that they've synced their class to music. So in a hit class, typically you'll have like portions of the class where you do a workout and then you stop and then you move and then you stop and there's just music playing in the background.
Right.
But in this class, you are actually moving to the beat, to the music. They design and produce the music for the class.
Right.
So they reverse engineer the program so that when you're moving to music every single time.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only difference.
Cool scene. So,
But you know what you're going to find out, because that's the class that you're going to do that we've already
yeah,
committed.
I am that. So, what we just saw before that question was our video about hybrid body. For those of you who follow us every week, you know what it is. For the new followers, for the new people who are watching, Hybrid Body is a magazine where we took a bunch of athletes, competitive and non-competitive, and took tasteful nude photographs of them. The goal, of course, is to grab your attention so that we can actually talk about an issue that actually affects a lot of us, and especially in the Caribbean, body shaming. I'm sure we've all gone to the annual family gathering where somebody's like, oh gosh,
You put
you're
on
eating,
so much
you get so
weight.
skinny. Oh, look how much weight you know, she knows it well. And the thing about it is that even those of us in the fitness lifestyle and fitness world, we still face body shaming. Who is too muscular?
Yes.
Who too skinny? Oh gosh, you get too hard. Wait, you train and you still have that big belly and all of these things. And the reality is that we face it also. So we decided to put our bodies up on display, basically. Again, tasteful news, don't worry, where you can see or hear about our experiences with body shaming, right? So you have, of course, the ever popular Jamie Lee Phillips.
Should have on my life too.
We have this really cool dude here.
Oh, that dude. I didn't know who that dude is. Nice, not giving it to me.
And you know, you can always get your copy from any of us at Hybrid or any of the models. And before I continue, I want to give a copy of this magazine to our guest. Bella, here's your copy.
Thank you.
What do you think about the magazine, though?
This one or in general?
I mean, this one, the general push, our idea to do this as a whole, you know?
So in terms of in a general sense, and doing a magazine like this, I think it's something that is needed. I think that, you know, something that's lacking in the fitness space, I would say, is that one-stop place where you can get the information that you need and a space where you can connect to different people, right? And having a brand like Hybrid and what Hybrid is doing is definitely an avenue to not just connect people and professionals and give an avenue for professionals to put themselves out as well, but it's also the perfect place to get information that's going to help you in your own fitness journey as well, right? You know, yes, we have Google, but then I'm sure you guys put research and you do a entire background check into what you're putting in the magazine as well. So it's credible information.
Yep.
Not just
and we try to make
information.
It applicable to the Caribbean also in terms of our food, our culture, you know. There are certain things that are just not applicable to our culture that you see on YouTube because they are American culture and stuff. You know?
Exactly. So a lot of like the diet programs that you get online as well most of the times the grocery list for those things you don't get in our groceries here. And then you end up confused as to what you want to do or what you can and can't do. And we need a space for information in general.
So, as for your take on this particular magazine, Hybrid Body itself, what do you think about it?
So this to me was a very bold. This is a very bold cover, but I like the boldness in it, and I like that you guys are trying to capture not just, you know, people that have bodies in fitness and or deemed perfect bodies. It's not perfect bodies. It's people that are unapologetic about their perfections and their imperfections at the same time, because we all have it. And it's something that we need to be real with ourselves about, and that's okay. And it's okay to say that, you know, I'm imperfect in this sense, but I like this about myself, you know. Not everything, you're not gonna like everything. I don't like everything about myself. I still have things that I'm working on, you know. I'm not ashamed of it, right? So, you know, a long time ago, like when we were younger, I guess our generation, when we were younger, talking about things that you are ashamed about used to be taboo, you know, like you would feel like it's wrong to talk about feeling negative about something, right? And I think now that has changed, where people are now becoming more vocal about things that bother them or things that they want to work on or things that they're not so happy about it in themselves. And I think that's a great space to be in mentally, you know. And that's typically, that's really what stuck out to me with this issue. It's that you guys are trying to not capture, you know, people that just have everything in everything together, and it's just it's not a perfect life. It's about journeys and stories and trials and wins of the people. There's a pregnant woman in here which I have not seen yet.
She's very early on. This is actually her on 50 page before.
Okay, before here. I see.
So the pregnant woman that we're talking about is actually, again, for those of you who know, she's April Suraj. She actually decided to do a shoot while pregnant and a shoot after having a baby to show that, there's no such thing as a snapback.
I'm showing my IG live. the before and after of her.
We also have 2 national athletes here, a national boxer and a national Olympic weightlifter, and we have some other stuff.
Somebody by the name of Mark.
Some weird guy.
Some weird person.
All right, so let's continue.
Yes.
You're also a fitness model.
Sometimes.
Brand ambassador too, from what I got. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I do. I do have some. I do have some brands I work with. Yeah.
How did you get into being a fitness model as well as representing these various brands?
So I'll tell you something with my journey. Like everything that I do, it happened for me organically.
Right.
I didn't think. Let's say I became more of an influencer maybe the last 4 or 5 years. 4 years, maybe 5. I didn't think I was going to be an influencer. I didn't think that I was going to be a model.
Right.
At all. Like that was not something that I decided one day. I woke up and I said, yes, I'm going to be a model. I'm going to be a brand ambassador. I didn't think that was going to be my story, but it happened, and it happened over time. For me, I think it happened because I kept reinvesting in myself and my skills, and that showed itself. So a lot of people may think, when I'm doing big events or if I'm representing large brands, is because, Trainees typically tend to say, that's because she knows somebody, or it's who you know, and that's how you get into these things. I actually knew no one. I knew nobody. Like, what happened for me was I got invited to an event by chance years ago, and that was the first brand I started. That was Yoplait. And they saw me on stage and they said, I like your vibe, we want to add you to other events. And then I started to do other events with them, but I kept investing in my training because I wanted to be better at instructing crowds and instructing people and speaking and whatnot. So I kept doing that, and eventually more things just started to happen, and then my reputation started to grow, and then I got approached by Synergy TV, and then that happened, and then after Synergy, the larger events, I did a bunch of larger events after that, and again it just started to grow organically to the point where the brands, they came to me.
Right.
And at that point I was like, what, this is something that I should look into doing then, and then it happened. So it wasn't like I said, yes, modeling, me, do it.
Right.
No, it happened. It really just happened. It happened because I was focused on investing in my skill and what I wanted to build BeFit into, and what I guess was for BeFit started to come into.
Right.
It started to manifest itself over time.
So as we're talking about that, and you actually gave the name of your own brand.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that. You have BeFit as a Zumba instructor, but you also have BeFit gear.
I do.
Yes, let's talk about that. You have the picture collage
thingy. I don't think I sent that, That's my bad. BeFitCaribbean.com, everybody. Just go over there.
Yeah, BeFitCaribbean.com.
You'll see a bunch of stuff. Obella_SKD. You'll see a bunch of stuff on my IG as well. That one. So BeFit started off actually as that Synergy TV segment that I was doing. It was called BeFit with Bella.
Right.
And it just became, again, it became its own thing over time. So everybody started calling me Bella BeFit, or Zumba BeFit girl, or it just started to become a thing, right? And within the last, so in 2019, I went to a fete. I went to a party. And we had a good year in terms of events and classes that we would have taught that season. And I just decided, you know what, let me and the girls and crew go out with B-fits on our onesies and t-shirts and whatnot. It was like a team of 15 of us.
Right.
We just wanted to go and represent as a team. So I just put B-fits on some onesies and some t-shirts, and we went as a team. And then my social media started to get flooded after with requests. Where can we get this? We want to get the onesie. Like, I want to wear B-fits and the caps and all of those things.
Right.
And again, remember, I kept saying that whatever happened to me or where B-fits is right now, it happened organically.
Right.
So that in itself launched a line that I couldn't ignore. Because now I started to get orders and people were like, no, let's do it. We want to do it. And I said, okay, fine. So then I started to get more creative with the design aspect of it. And I started to put more content and more options out to people, right? Now, in 2020, was it 2020 or 2021? Was it last year? I think it was last year. So 2021. Yes, it was 2021. So in 2021, coming out of the pandemic of 2020, we were still in pandemic, but we're coming out of the 2020 pandemic and the first installment of the lockdowns and everything. So before I explain that part, this is something to note. BeFit for me is at all times a representation of my authentic self. Right? So whatever I'm doing with the brand, it's literally me sharing something that I'm going through with you, the audience, as well. Or it's giving a part of my journey to others who may resonate with what I'm going through as well, right? So in 2020, I think it was very known that everybody in the pandemic started to go through mental problems, as in mental challenges, mental health issues, because one, we're in lockdown, we can't do the activities that we were doing before, financial constraints, home constraints, so many different challenges would have started off because of the pandemic, right? And even in myself, I had to go through a mental process of adjusting myself to that style of environment where my job was even more demanding, and I really got into positive affirmations and starting my day with positive affirmations, and that helped me cope with that mental process. And I remember sitting and thinking to myself, how can I now help other people with this? How can I help people put positive energy out there for themselves so that it comes back to them? And I'm an energy person. Like, I believe in putting that energy and that right energy in and out to people, right? So I sat down and I actually came up with this concept of wearing things with positive affirmations on it. So the BeFit gear collection from 2021 was positive affirmations, and it's about self-acceptance and accepting, being authentically yourself, also not just thinking positively, but wearing it and walking it and looking it and feeling it. And that's what I did with the collection that's on the website still. So you'll see there's some pineapples and some palm trees with words, and it's the design is made out of words, and the words are actually be grateful, be affirmed, be confident, and it's made out of positive affirmations, because I wanted people to experience embodying positivity from not just thinking it, listening to it, but wearing it and walking it as well. And that's how that happened.
So my next question is, do you have clothes available for guys?
Not at the moment.
I just asked.
I'm sorry. Like, okay, so
if I could get a palm tree on my chest and do a positive affirmation,
it can't be worked out. So okay, so in 2021 I launched that, and I had every intention to extend that over to the guys, right? In 2021 we decided to enter another lockdown, and that created a bunch of other challenges
yeah.
in delivery and stocking and all of those things. So that kind of like puts a spoke in my wheel in a little bit, but it's still available. It's as much, like it's not as often. I wanted to do a line every quarter, but I'm not doing that right now. However, I would come back. I have like planned at least 4 lines already that I want to do. So, you know, just keep an eye out on everybody.
So,
it's going to be nice. So.
Before I ask my next question, first of all, I want to say hi, Juju. Judine from our podcast last week is tuned in. She's a very good friend of mine. And we have Chris Rich asking, is Zumba effective as a standalone workout regimen, just the aim of toning and weight loss?
Okay, so great question. Zumba is effective as a cardio fitness workout. It will promote, I guess, also flexibility and endurance, yes. Now, if you want to do one program and expect it to give you all the results that you're looking for, I don't think that is going to give you everything that you're looking for. It's specific for cardio fitness. If you're looking to sweat and have a good time and not feel like you're sweating, yes, for sure, right? There are things that we do in a class that is geared towards toning, yes, but you really do, and my personal advice, you really have to diversify your workout regime to work your body in different ways to get the best results, right?
Very honest answer.
Yes.
So back to the questions.
Yeah.
All of that. And you say you want to do you have 4 lines lined
yeah.
up, and you want to do a new line every quarter.
Maybe.
And you work a regular job. How you balance all of that? You have a scale. What's going on here?
Yeah, and my corporate career is actually like very consuming, and I get this question asked by anybody that knows me intimately: is how do you even have the time in the day? Do you sleep? Do you sleep at all? I do sleep, everybody. I do. It happens, you know. Sometimes not as much as I want to, but it happens. Okay, so Zumba for me always started off as a supplemental income that I needed. I needed to earn extra money. And that's how I started doing it. But I always had a job. And I enjoy my career, and I'm passionate about it as well as I am passionate about dancing and Zumba and whatnot. And I think when you're passionate about what you're doing, the time finds itself.
Yeah.
Right?
I understand.
But with that being said, it is extremely challenging. My days are scheduled sometimes by the hour. Like I start my morning by taking a look at my calendar for the day by the hour and thinking in my head, how am I going to accomplish everything that I set out for the day and for the week and what events I have lined up. So I have to be extremely organized in coordinating my life. I really need a personal assistant, to be honest, you know, but you know.
She's hiring on. I'm kidding.
Right? I was actually pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and you know. Yeah, right? But yeah, I do have to be very coordinated, and I have to be very agile and shift in mindsets, because I work in IT and cybersecurity, and that is not the easiest industry to be in. If any tech people out there, you guys know that the tech industry is extremely challenging.
That's the industry I was in before I went full-time fitness.
So how you felt about that? Am I saying the right thing? It's extremely challenging, right?
It can be extremely challenging. I'll be honest with you, my experience in IT was challenging more because of the people
right.
who work for me, because I enjoyed what I did, but then I didn't do it in a bubble. I didn't do it in a vacuum. I did it with other people. And if I'm doing my work and they're not doing theirs, I actually had an issue where I was doing my job, some other people weren't doing theirs, and then they blamed it on me.
Right.
Other people believed it, until there was a situation where one guy was included in an email thread where he saw all the communications that proved my side of the story, and then suddenly everybody tuned to my side. But that whole experience,
I'm sorry you went through that.
is literally what made me leave IT.
Right.
Not that I necessarily want to leave IT, but I needed to leave that company. I won't say what company it was. And then from there, I just went full-time fitness. So I don't do much IT again.
Right. Yeah, but it is a very challenging industry, and it's always changing. Just like in fitness, where there's always new programs and new trends and new things that you have to, you know, get used to or research and whatnot. It's the same with the tech sector. So you are constantly on the go. It's not monotonous. It's very colorful, if you want to call it that. So it's it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a challenge to manage. Director, you okay?
So I really have one major question before we move into our last segment. We spoke a little bit about the pandemic and the mental health challenges, as well as how it has literally put a pause on your business from time to time.
On and off, yes.
I experienced it also because, as I said, I'm full-time fitness, so that instantly, I won't even go into it, but the other side of it is, as a fit person, as a fitness instructor, how did it affect your ability to train?
Yeah.
As well as your fitness and all of that stuff. I'll say by saying I gained weight.
Everybody.
Sure. And
everybody gained the 10 COVID pounds.
Yeah, it was like literally 10.
Yeah,
So,
everybody gained the 10 COVID pounds. So to answer that, I think the majority would agree that everybody's body changed post-pandemic or post-lockdowns, and everybody's body, well, let me not say that, my body in specific, and you guys could resonate with that if it's the same for you, is my body is not the same. Like, I am not the same person physically and mentally that I was pre-pandemic. And being inside and not, I actually took for granted what our regular movement routines, how that contributed to your body and your life before the lockdown. Let's say, for example, during the lockdowns, I gained the 10 COVID pounds, maybe more than that, I don't know, right? But it wasn't because I wasn't working out every day. I was working out at home. I was doing things still. But what my body lacked was that getting up and getting ready for work and being on the road and driving and walking and those regular things that actually contribute to your body being the way that it was. You weren't doing that anymore. So
you went from a relatively active lifestyle to a pretty much sedentary lifestyle, except for your workout.
Except for that 1 hour. So you think you're doing the right thing when in really you're still not doing what you were doing before, as much as you were trying to supplement that, right? So my body changed. I am not as fit as I was pre-pandemic, and I moved into my 30s during the pandemic as well, right? And that was I don't know, like I had friends that told me, when you're in your 20s, everything is fine and you're good, and when you hit your 30s, it's just totally different. And I never believed them until it actually happened to me. So now,
an excuse says because we were in the pandemic and everything was different. Because honestly, turning 30 for me was.
It was normal. Yeah. No, like I turned 30 in January, and by May, my 2 knees had injuries. Both of them, not even one of them. One was an old injury, and the next one was a new injury that happened by doing some regular, right? So. And I started to get injuries, and the intensity that I would teach my classes even now is still not where it used to be, I'm really great at teaching a class without overexerting myself. So that doesn't mean the class is not intense. Like, the class be intense, but I'll just be dying with you now. Whereas before, I would like stand and look at everybody and be like, why are you all breathing heavy? This is nothing. Now I'm like, yeah, we're going to do the next part, right? Right?
I can actually relate to that. I did a dance aerobic. I did an aerobics a few weeks ago after not doing aerobics for 2 years.
Right.
And within 6 minutes, I was like, ooh, is it time for the next instruction?
That's what I'm saying, right? But you know what? And I told a class this last week actually, you know, even though your bodies is not the same as it was, what counts is that you're actually restarting that routine and you're going back. So you're going to get back to that point. You really just have to stay consistent with it, right?
Yeah.
But everything changed after the pandemic. So now, whereas I used to train and teach my classes on my own before, now because of the changes in my body and the things that I have to overcome or pay attention to more now, I actually have to train with a personal trainer. So added to my very busy day, I actually start my day training with a trainer who is training me and helping me rehabilitate injuries and things that I neglected in my body over time. And this goes back to what I was saying in terms of diversifying your workout. Because if you stick to one thing for a very long time, you're gonna overwork certain parts, and then you're gonna have underactive muscles and underactive parts of your bodies as well. And then as you go into your 30s and older guys, that really affects you. So one day you might get off the bed and an injury will happen, and then you don't know why. But it's because you weren't paying attention to your body holistically in the process. So now I have to pay attention to my holistic self versus, you know, just being normal and, you know, teaching and being regular. I can't be regular anymore.
All right, so that mostly concludes our interview. We have one more segment, but before we get into it, Carol Fraser was here. Excellent interview, Bella.
Hi, Carol.
But she to know if you were able to do any virtual coaching during the pandemic.
I did. I actually had a free class every Tuesday that I did Zumba class.
Right.
That was online, and it was something that I actually also partnered with Digital BIP on as well to run that through. So you actually get access to it from their app as well. But right now that's not happening. One, because my corporate career has accelerated in a way that I didn't anticipate it to. And also because I've started back my physical classes, and that's been doing pretty good, and I really like the physical face-to-face interactions as well. I miss the virtual, but I really can't slip it back into my schedule right now. Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I did my virtual. I still have some virtual stuff running and all of that, but I get, you know, as things started back, as things changed, you know, how your schedule changes also. So that brings us mostly to the end of our interview. As I said, we have one more thing though. One more little segment that we like to affectionately call the last rep.
Okay. Should I be nervous?
I don't know, should you?
Oh, my heart is racing now.
It's a quick question and answer segment.
Okay.
You know, just 10 quick questions, rapid fire. First thing from on the top of your head, as I ask, are you ready?
Ready.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, we've only had one person who was actually ready after they say they're ready, yeah? All right.
We're about to find out.
Question number 1, favorite junk food?
Bread.
Well,
I have a weakness for toast. Like, it's crazy. Like, I could eat toast any time of the day, and I hate that.
This will make you the second person to be ready, yeah, when you say you're ready. Yeah, it is.
Why is that unique? That's so regular. Bread is every day.
Nobody said bread. People take pizza and roti, and you like bread, and I get it.
Toast bread with butter, that's it.
I make bread every Sunday, so I get it.
Yeah.
Squats or deadlifts?
Squats.
Legs or chest?
Legs.
If you're like down and you need to, you know, pick me up, what's your go-to exercise?
Right now, spin.
Serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know you do spin.
I don't teach it. I like to do it.
You see how we learning things, you know, even at the end here? If you could work out with or be trained by one workout partner or one trainer anywhere in the world, who would your fantasy workout partner or trainer be?
J-Lo.
Really?
Yeah,
Workout partner?
I love J-Lo.
No, nah, well, she a thing, eh?
Yeah,
I think she's...
she says many things.
She's around... she's older than me. She's 50 something, 50 or something.
Yeah.
51, yeah. She's 9 years older than me. So yeah, and
I'm sure she could train me too because
She
she's
acting.
yeah. So I just anything J-Lo.
Yeah. Favorite workout music?
Huh. Well, soca dancehall, yes, but I really like Afro of lately. So I'm really into just listening to a house and Afro AMA house. I'm not sure what they call it, but I really like that at the moment.
Right. Cardio weights.
Cardio,
Favorite sport to play?
dancing,
Fair enough.
that's sport.
Yeah, I am
That's a
dancing.
sport.
I am dancing. Yes,
Dancing.
dancing. You guys are dancers, you know.
yeah.
Supplements or diets?
I do both.
Cool. And the last and most important question, deepest question, the one that reaches down to your toe. TV or cinema?
TV.
Fair enough, fair enough. Thank you very much,
I was
Bella.
ready.
She was ready. Thank you very much, Bella.
Thank you, guys. Hey, Chandel.
Thanks to Bella's Instagram crew also. Thanks to everyone who joined, everyone who asked questions or said hi. Thank you again, because you were our guest last week and you're tuning in this week. And last but not least, thank you very much, Bella, for gracing us with your presence and being a part of this podcast.
Thank you
It's
guys
very
for
good.
having
It was fun.
me.
It was
This was
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
It was actually a lot of fun. It was very fun, yes.
All right, guys. Next week we are going to a special time again. Our guest this week is only available on Saturdays, so you can tune in next week Saturday for Candice Abraham Santos. We'll be having a nice little chat with her. See you next week, guys.